We'll see how your editor edits this to see whether I'm right or wrong. But I did make a point to say that
Yeah.
it's the framing part I didn't like, even though it's a different side of the same coin.
Okay.
So you're still right. I appreciate the push because it allows me to clarify that they are different sides of a similar coin.
Mhm.
I'm just pointing out that because you asked it through the lens of what excites me, I
Yeah.
answered that way. And so like I just happen to like not feel excited personally through the
Okay.
lens of framing it as efficiency. I get
I
excited
see.
about framing it through the lens of like
Okay.
renewing the empowerment of a certain archetype I'm imagining, right? And I forgot to say a thing in my. I was trying to think of like how do I make my version of this podcast a bit unique and
Rich?
different. I get asked a lot. Is this just the next wave of hype? Blah blah blah. You all have heard it, and so I'm
Yep.
like, I don't think that. There's some, but I do think that holding a certain amount of healthy skepticism in this field is actually very valuable. I wanted to offer a game mechanic for this podcast, which is at key moments, we use the phrase to ask ourselves, is this a real conversation or are we just guzzling Kool-Aid? Or if we want to lean into the amusing part, are we too far up our own buttholes? So if you will, amuse me, let's try to do that. Like if we get too far into the weeds, one of us should hold up the flag and say, are we too far up our own buttholes? And I think that might create some interesting conversations. What do you guys think?
Okay.
All right. Why don't we start a little bit because your perspective is a little different from others that we've talked to. One, because you've been able to see a lot of the changes. Rich, your background is actually more in the game industry, right? You've been in the game industry.